friends are near. Students you spread the word. Sam's the one you must have heard. From the campus to the town, no one brings the station down. Independent all the way. Sam NewsMan forever stay. Sam NewsMan all the air. Feel the groove everywhere. College spirit makes us proud. Rich new voices sing out loud.
You could accept the fact that this city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. What he means is Old Testament man, real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling. 40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
This is a philosophical statement and would take about 10 minutes to read, so I'll not do that. One of the first things that a child learns in a healthy family is trust. And I trust what you have said, that you will read this. It's very important to me. I care deeply about children. My first children...
Would it make you happy if you read it?
I'd just like to talk about it, if it's all right.
Sir. Okay.
My first children's program was on WQED 15 years ago, and its budget was $30. Now, with the help of the Sears Roebuck Foundation and National Educational Television, as well as all of the affiliated stations, each station pays to show our program. It's a unique kind of funding in educational television. With this help, now our program has a budget of $6,000. It may sound like quite a difference, but $6,000 pays for less than 2 minutes of cartoons, 2 minutes of animated, what I sometimes say, bombardment. I'm very much concerned, as I know you are, about what's being delivered to our children in this country. And I've worked in the field of child development for 6 years now, trying to understand the inner needs of children. We deal with such things as the inner drama of childhood. We don't have to bop somebody over the head to make him to make drama on the screen. We deal with such things as getting a haircut, or the feelings about brothers and sisters, and the kind of anger that arises in simple family situations. And we speak to it constructively.
How long a program is it?
It's a half hour every day. Most channels schedule it in the noontime as well as in the evening. WETA here has scheduled it in the late afternoon.
Could we get a copy of this so that we can see it? Maybe not today, but I'd like to see the program.
I'd like very much for you
I'd like to see the program itself, or any one of them, you see.
We made 100 programs for EEN, the Eastern Educational Network, and then when the money ran out, people in Boston and Pittsburgh and Chicago all came to the fore and said, we've got to have more of this neighborhood expression of care. And this is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health. I think that it's much more dramatic that two men could be working out their feelings of anger, much more dramatic than showing something of gunfire. I'm constantly concerned about what our children are seeing. And for 15 years, I have tried in this country and Canada to present what I feel is a meaningful expression of care.
Do you narrate it?
I'm the host, yes. And I do all the puppets, and I write all the music, and I write all the scripts.
Well, I'm supposed to be a pretty tough guy, and this is the first time I've had goosebumps for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm grateful, not only for your goosebumps, but for your interest in our kind of communication. Could I tell you the words of one of the songs which I feel is very important?
Yes.
This has to do with that good feeling of control, which I feel that children need to know is there. And it starts out, what do you do with the mad that you feel? And that first line came straight from a child. I work with children, doing puppets in very personal communication with small groups. What do you do with the mad that you feel? When you feel so mad you could bite. When the whole wide world seems oh so wrong, and nothing you do seems very right. What do you do? Do you punch a bag? Do you pound some clay or some dough? Do you round up friends for a game of tag or see how fast you go? It's great to be able to stop when you've planned a thing that's wrong and be able to do something else instead and think this song. I can stop when I want to, can stop when I wish, can stop, 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 anytime. And what a good feeling to feel like this and know that the feeling is really mine. Know that there's something deep inside that helps us become what we can. For a girl can be someday a lady, and a boy can be someday a man.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
That was Mr. Rogers on May 1st, 1969. One of the things that is very interesting about this is that this was a moment in time where they were going to take away public broadcasting. And I know that there's been discussion about the removal of public broadcasting recently in the news. But what I wanted you to hear was what he was talking about. And that is the foundation of a healthy family. What it means, and the importance of trust. When we think about trust, we think about the people that we are in contact with the most. Our friends, our family, sometimes the people that we may just see for a brief moment in time. We think about the trust that we have in others, such as institutions, not just our family members and our friends, but our teachers, the people that we look up to. And we always want to recognize that deep down inside, that we trust them, that we have faith in them, and that they're telling us the truth. When he talks about what do you do with the mad that you feel, I want to ask you, what do you do with the mad that you feel? When someone disagrees with you, what do you do? Do you get upset? Do you pound some clay? Or some dough? I ask that because this was a very tough week for many people. And it started about 24 years ago. It was a Tuesday. And on that Tuesday, the sky was absolutely clear. It was a very clear day, almost perfect. In fact, some would argue, maybe even a little too perfect. That Tuesday was September 11th in the year 2001. Many people woke up to go to work just as they always have. Just another day, doing what they're supposed to do, and having trust. Trust in the way things are. Trust that they would be able to get in their car, get on the subway, make it to work. Trust that they would make it to work. Trust that they would have a day at work. Trust that they would leave work. Trust that they would get back in their car or get back on the subway. Trust that they would come home. Trust that they would see their family again. As you know, many people that day, that didn't happen. Many of the people that day had trust. They had trust in the institutions. They had trust in their government. Trust that they would be safe. Trust that their government could keep them safe. Trust that everything would be okay. And it would just be another day. Many found out that day that the people that they placed in positions of power were not looking out for them. And trust was broken. trust in intelligence agencies, trust in the federal government, trust in the administration, trust in the people that are supposed to keep us safe. I would say, for many people out there, that was the day that trust died. And what did you do with the mad that you felt on the days after? It was very interesting because many people at that point came together, knowing that we all had differences of opinions, political persuasions. In the days after 9/11 in 2001, many of us held hands together, put aside our differences and said, we are one. We thought about the families that lost their loved ones, and our hearts cried out to them. We held hands, we participated in vigils. We prayed for each other, regardless of our beliefs. It's been 24 years since that day, and many of us have not even forgotten where we were. One of those moments in time, if you will. Where were you on 9/11? These same type of questions have come up through the years. Where were you when they bombed Pearl Harbor? Where were you when they shot JFK? Where were you when the Challenger exploded? Where were you on 9/11? This past week, we ended up having another moment just the day before. And that question is, where were you when Charlie Kirk got shot? I'll tell you where his wife was and his children. They were there, watching it all happen in real time. When we think about trust and we think about things, we often think, hey, we can disagree. But as I sit here on a Saturday morning, often we talk about cartoon themes, video game themes, pop culture, and sometimes we just troll the political spectrum from one end to the other. I wonder if we've lost that trust in each other. No one ever said that you had to agree with anybody or everything somebody says. But as Mr. Rogers said, what do you do with the mad that you feel? to take up violence, to attack others with physical harm, to murder someone in front of their wife and kids. I wonder if we've lost trust in humanity itself. Condoning violence, celebrating in the death of someone who you did not agree with, well, I trust at that moment that I know you have no soul. Because the last thing that any decent person would do is sit there and wish harm upon somebody else. Or even celebrate in somebody else's death. Now, of course, there are instances, and there are people out there that are evil. But I'm here to tell you right now that evil is more evil than you even give it credit for. You have to sit there and think for just a moment about the evil that you can think about. Because I'm here to tell you that whatever evil that you can think of, the evil that often runs things, is far more evil than your imagination can't even fathom. And it all boils down to the word and the title of this morning's show, the theme of this morning's show. And that theme is deception. Something that just seems that's just another regular day occurrence all around us. Deception from the people who we thought were looking out for us. Deception from the people who we entrusted to keep us safe, to keep others safe, so that we could trust that when we leave every day to go to work, to go to school, to go anywhere, that we can trust that we'll be able to come back home. And be reunited with our family and our friends and the people that we care about. When institutions such as governments and the media actively pass legislation by our congressmen that they're allowed to use propaganda against the people, then I often have to ask, where is the trust? Is there trust? Or is it all just deception? This brings me back once again to Mr. Rogers. And what he said about children And I know that what happens is that you grow up and you do your own thing, and next thing you know, you're not really caring about kids anymore. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's those kids that one day will be taking care of you. To dismiss it and to sit there and say, oh, well, I'm just going to focus on me. And you know what? You should focus on yourself. In fact, I tell people all the time, what you need to do is to be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday. Be nice to people. Not everyone's going to agree. Mr. Rogers also once said, competition is a word that makes many of us very edgy. And it's a situation that we have probably been living with since we were all very small. The only person you're in competition with is yourself. Who you were yesterday. Because that's only the measuring stick that you have. The moment that you begin comparing yourself to others, you've already lost. The judgment that you have towards others, that'll be the same judgment that is met back on you. Discovering the truth about ourselves is a lifetime's work, but it's worth the effort. Nobody said it would be easy. One of the most essential ways of saying I love you is by careful listening. Listening with the ear of the heart. Those are words of Mr. Rogers. What's been important in my understanding of myself and others is the fact that each one of us is so much more than any one thing. Who are you and what defines you? Other people will sit there and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to call this person a Nazi, a Marxist, a fascist, a communist. And in the process, become violent. And as we use those terms and we just blanket people with them, we forgot to understand for a moment that their husbands, their wives, their fathers, their mothers. There is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. Sometimes it's just for a brief moment. Goes back to the old saying, you only have a few seconds to make a first impression. You might only have a few seconds with someone that you'll never see again. Being a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, treating others the way that you'd want to be treated, it's really what it's all about. What a gift we all give to children when we encourage them to talk about what makes them happy, jealous, angry, shy, afraid, or proud. As we move forward from this moment in time, this week, which, as we can all now agree, has just gotten a little more darker than it already was. Every year on 9/11, we sit there and think about the 3,000 plus individuals that lost their lives, that trusted that everything was going to be fine, that trusted that they'd be able to come home that evening. Yet not realizing that a blanket of deception was actually over all of it. Real strength is neither male nor female, but it is quite simply one of the finest characteristics that any human being can possess. Real strength, being genuine, being honest, not lying, not deceiving, not using your situations and your circumstances to paint a picture and then go about doing something else. Well, like I always say, it's a shame. It's a shame that we sometimes have to come to grips with these moments in time. And here at 11:40 on the 13th day of September in the year 2025, what I want to leave you with before I leave here today is the fact that trust, it's still something that's out there. It is. Trust has not died. Deception is a real thing. People will continue to deceive you, and they will use any means necessary sometimes to do it, which then goes back to the reason why I say that evil sometimes is more evil than we even give it credit for. So, as we close out the show, what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to think about your family and your friends, the people that you say you care about. And then I need you to hold up the mirror and ask yourself, have you been truthful? Have you deceived them? If you have, it's not too late to apologize, to say you're sorry. Because as we learned this week, we are not guaranteed the next day, the next few moments. Just like the people on 9/11, while they thought and they trusted the fact that they'd go to work and come home, that didn't happen. The fact that Charlie Kirk could get in front of a bunch of college kids and just have a slight debate and then go home to his wife and kids, that didn't happen. But it's not too late for you. And it's not too late for our future. Our future being the children and the kids that as adults, we're supposed to lead by example. So ask yourself, are you walking in trust? Or are you walking in deception? And if you are walking in trust, well, good for you. But if you are walking in deception, it's not too late. Apologies can be accepted, as well as forgiveness. Make sure that you're following me at Sam Newsman all over social media. That's at Sam Newsman all over social media is where you will find me. We are broadcasting here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X, as well as Instagram. That's at Sam Newsman and all of those places. Also want to give a tip of the cap to Exertus, who allows us to mirror the stream on his channels as well. He lost a friend this week. And that friend was Charlie Kirk. So as you go through the days and the evenings, and you're there with your children and the people that you love, do yourself a favor. Hug them a little bit tighter. Give them one extra kiss. And be grateful. Be grateful for things. And be grateful for the memories that you're allowed to share and make. Because the reality is nothing is guaranteed. Download the Live 365 app, search WDCE. You'll be able to listen to Citizen Germ's final closing segment here in just a moment. That's a radio-only moment. I want to thank everyone if they're listening on WDCE 90.1 FM here out of the University of Richmond. It's a beautiful sunny day here where we are. And I hope it's a beautiful sunny day where you are. If it's not, then open a window and listen to the rain. And be grateful that you can do that. Because there's many people who cannot open up a window. There's many people who cannot go outside. It all goes back to trust. Do you have it? Are you being deceitful? There's deceitfulness all around us. There's evil all around us. And my question to you is, what are you doing on a daily basis to make this world a better place? I often end the show with a little jingle, a sarcastic jingle talking about deception, and the lack of trust that we have and has come to our institutions. But without really going into all of that, I'll just leave you with the chorus, which is very simple in the name of the show. Oh, it's SideShow, Infotainment, politicians and news anchors, and talking points that make my eardrums bleed. The most trusted puppet in media. Ha 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 ha. Is me. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam, Newsman.